Hey, good afternoon, rock stars. Welcome to the channel. It's Wednesday afternoon, and as you can see over my shoulder and probably here in the back of this video, it is about to happen. So I live about a half an hour north of downtown Tampa Bay, Florida. A lot of you that are familiar with my channel, maybe you're new here, you don't know that, but most of you know where I live, you know the general area that I live in, and we are just outside of Hurricane Helen. She is coming in to the Florida Panhandle and actually what is called the Big Bend area. That's where Florida curves into the Panhandle, so actually a little bit away from the Panhandle. That is roughly 2 hours north of us, 2.5 hours north of us is going to be landfall. Generally, if you're more than 2 hours away from the landfall, you're going to get a pretty nasty storm, which is already starting to come in here on Wednesday afternoon. Landfall for this, I believe, is tomorrow night, Thursday night. So we got about 24 to 36 hours until the worst of it. We are good here. We're pretty lucky in the Tampa Bay area. If you ever watch the news, you'll see that there's never really a huge storm that directly hits us. Now, a couple years ago when Ian came in, it was targeting, whoa, caught that one on the camera, right? When Ian was coming in, it was directly targeting us, and it took a last minute curve to the south and it took out Fort Myers. It was devastating in Fort Myers. So this one could take a last minute curve from the Big Bend area and turn into me. I'll put a screenshot up so you guys can kind of understand a little bit better where exactly I am located versus this storm versus the rest of Florida. So you guys can take a look at it. Yeah, I'll put it over there, somewhere up in here. Anyways, so the storm is coming. We are always prepared. We have hurricane windows and doors, glass, all that stuff. Our house will absorb anything up to a category 3 or 4, which is what this is supposed to be, is a category 3. We are 10 to 12 miles inland from the Gulf, so we don't generally get flooding here. The roads will flood out because of the rain and the heavy water totals, but we generally won't get flooding. You know, the Gulf would have to flood 80 feet, biblical proportions, to come to us. It's all of those little cities that are right along the water that get it really, really bad. That's what you see on the news from the flooding, generally speaking. Things like our pond retention here, the seawall level to get up into, you can kind of see in the back there how it goes up a hill. That would have to raise something like 12 feet just to come up to even my fence line, 14 feet, and then would have to go even more to push that water into my yard to flood my yard and become a swamp, which even if that happened would be crappy, that would suck, but it, you know, to come into my house would be again, biblical proportion rains. It would take something drastic for that to happen. So we're pretty lucky. We don't have to worry about that too much. Our biggest fears here would be loss of power. Obviously that's you know, from the wind and the rain, that can be devastating in Florida without air conditioning. It's still hot here. It's still in the 90s every day, and no power, and the roads being flooded, not being able to get to stores or food or gas. So we're stocked up on a lot of that. We're good for at least a week or two if something bad happened. It's generally okay after a day or two here. So thank you to everybody that reached out and is worrying about us, but we should be fine. Worry about the people about 2 hours north of me, up near the Florida Big Bend and Panhandle area. You can look up that area again. I'll put a map up. With that said, I did want to give resellers a piece of advice, since this is a reselling channel. In the event that you are ever affected by a natural disaster like a hurricane or an earthquake or tornado or anything else, and you either don't have power, you can't ship your packages, you can't get them out, you can't run your business, you can't get on the computer, you can't charge your laptop, the roads are flooded, you can't get to the post office is closed, which ours is open tomorrow, I believe, but not open on Friday, depending. They're closing early too tomorrow, so I got to get up and make sure I get everything out quickly. If any of this happens to you, eBay will protect you. Most of the platforms, as far as I'm aware, Amazon does and eBay does. I would imagine Etsy, I don't sell on Etsy, but I would imagine they do, and Posh, of course, will as well. So just make sure, you know, they have your address, they have your zip code, they know where you're located, so make sure you you know, reach out to them and contact them in the event that you're late on shipping or you can't ship at all, or if in the event that, God forbid, something bad happened and your house flooded and you lost inventory. Hopefully you have insurance on that, either through your business insurance or your homeowners, or a combination of both, which I do have as well. In the event that something bad happened. This was one of the reasons I moved my fulfillment listing center to New Hampshire. Nothing bad happens in New Hampshire. Typically speaking, nothing bad happens in New Hampshire. So all of your inventory, if you do use my fulfillment center, it is not located here in Florida. It is up in New Hampshire. I have only a few select pieces of inventory here in my home for a couple of random reasons why I kept them. But they are safe and protected, and they are also insured, and I will pay for them out of my pocket if I had to, because it's not that much. But everything is up in New Hampshire, safe. So contact eBay if something bad happens. If you lose your inventory, if it was to be flooded and soggy and bad and you had to dispose of it, you can contact them and they will get you out of any defects or cancellations, any account suspensions or anything bad, late shipments, no shipments, items not received, all that sort of stuff. They will help you with. So they work with sellers. They're really good about it. I know you guys hate on eBay a lot, but they're really, really good about protecting those of us that live in areas prone to natural disasters like I live in. But I'm lucky because the area I live in here in Florida is pretty safe from all that crap. So hopefully this thing stays on course, stays away from us a couple hours, and we just get a lot of wind and rain overnight tomorrow and into Thursday and Friday. So that's the story here from Tampa. I'll take you guys around. I'll give you a quick look around the neighborhood. Let's take a quick gander at the skies and the rain. We'll go out front. This is actually facing somewhat like east-west. North-south would be more like that direction. But let me take you guys around, have a quick look. I just wanted to give you that chat about eBay protections and everything, and you being completely handled and taken care of. They'll clear those defects and all that. So nothing to worry about, and we are safe here. So again, thank you for that. Let's take a quick look around and then I'll let you guys go. So you guys can see kind of like those palm fronds on the palm trees. They start coming down when the rains and the winds start. Then that one's just a little bit, but if it's really whipping, a lot of that will start falling down. So the tree thing is just minor. It's no big deal. Now, a lot of people don't know this. If you don't live in Florida, you're not used to this, but you can kind of tell the difference in hurricane clouds. You see kind of how ominous they are, kind of how like swirly they look. They look totally different from what you would normally expect in like a rainstorm or whatever. Look, it hasn't even started yet. You can hear our storm drains really taking on water right there if you listen closely. So we got to make sure they stay clear to make sure that the rain doesn't flood into the road, especially with all the construction going on around here. All right, so the lagoon that I live on, if you're new to this channel, you might not know what I'm talking about, but I live on a man-made lagoon. You can see it there. It looks like crap right now because they have all the obstacle course taken down. They have everything empty because the lagoon was closed today. They did not open to prepare for the storm. So basically they needed to tie everything down, strap it down, secure everything, and I'll take you around and show you the front of it to show you what they did. But it's closed today and it's closed tomorrow on Thursday. So as you can clearly see, an empty parking lot, everything abandoned for the day. Usually there would be like 20 golf carts parked along here, everybody inside, but it's empty, closed up, locked up, gates are closed. Let me take you around the side here and I'll show you, a little bit more of the storm preparation from Florida about how we get ready for hurricanes. So this is the main beach area of the lagoon, which I could show you. You guys can see everything is empty, closed, abandoned. And if you look closely, you can see all of the chairs that are secure. They've tied them down and then they link them to the poles or to trees or to metal stakes that they drive into the ground and just pray for the best. This storm, again, not hitting us. I think if it was direct hitting us, they probably would have taken them somewhere else other than just tied up right there like that. Now we have another side of our neighborhood that's outside the gate. So where I just brought you from, back there, goes towards my part of the neighborhood. We actually have a tunnel, looks like something from It, right? Goes to the other side of the neighborhood. Now, if you look, we're already experiencing, look at this. There's like a little pond already inside the tunnel because the water comes down here. You can see it's kind of slanted downhill. This is already a couple inches of water. When it pours, this tunnel will get flooded out very, very badly. Like you won't be able to go through this tunnel for a day or two. You can see we're just now getting a couple little bands of rain, and look when I get to the end of this. Watch, I'll go through it a little bit. You guys can see, so some of my neighbors live over here that I hang out with. And yeah, but if you look at these ponds, they don't get flooded. You can see it's a drastic drop. These houses are just fine. The water will never get that high, especially not here. Even with some steep rain, it's fine. But these tunnels, on the other hand, these suckers right here, yeah, they will get flooded quickly. Here's the other one. You can see it's kind of already ponding up right here. All right, so that was a look just quickly around the neighborhood of like the storm coming in and some prep work. And I stopped at the grocery store on the corner and got sushi. It was delicious. I don't know how many of you like sushi, but big fan. Thanks for joining me on the video. Thanks for thinking about us here in Florida. We'll be all right. I'll update you as we need. And remember, if you're a seller and you're ever impacted by anything, you are A-okay. You're covered at least for eBay and I know Amazon, and I'm pretty sure the rest of the platform. So enjoy the rest of your evening, guys. If you need anything, my email is rockstarflipper@gmail.com. I'll be checking them as much as I can. If you want me to audit and review your store, you can email me as well, and I'll get you set up for that on one of our 1 week, 2 week, 4 week plans. And the launch of my new selling platform is coming, Liquidation Treasures for Less. You can email me about that if you're interested in possibly joining us on that platform. I'll get you all the details, pricing, fees, all that good stuff via email as well. Rockstarflipper@gmail.com to get a hold of me for any of those things. Enjoy your evening. If you're in Florida, especially up in the Big Bend, be safe, and I'll talk to everyone again next time.